comb my hair, you know, it doesn't look good. StreamYards having issues. Okay. Okie welcome back. Welcome back, boys. Why is that? Why are you guys having some problems over there with Archie? Or whatever his name is. I think that's, see, George Clooney. You having problems with George Clooney? It's the StreamYard. All right, so we have what? We have 6 people. We have 7. We have 7 organic. That's enough. In this channel, that's enough. 7 people is good to start the show. Sí, ya empezamos ya. Let's see, let me get this ready. I'll be on in a second, boys. Let me just get something ready for you guys. Okay, so we have that there. And we have this one here. Okay. So here we go. Let me get ready. My hair looks crazy today, you know? Unbelievable hair amounts. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. I ask all of you for a favor, if you could. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. You know, you can help us out with, you know, with subscribing, you know, to our channel and liking our video. As you know, basically, this is the only thing we ask from you people out there. You know, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. You know that we bring here in this channel truthful things. You know what's happening out there, right? What's happening out there. If you guys are looking for channels with reviewing straps, reviewing watches, reviewing the host that hosts the show for you guys, there are watches that they have in collection. You know, guys, honestly, I don't do that. I don't review no leather straps, Velcro, whatever you want to call it. I don't do none of that. What I give you here is knowledge, okay? So, you know, just in case you're looking for that kind of content, we give you real content, you know, not no BS. So please, if you could, give us a big thumbs up and give us a like, right? So our channel can continue growing and I can keep on bringing you real, truthful content. All right, guys? So let's get into the show now. Ladies and gentlemen, as you guys know, I am a big fan of gold. And I'm going to tell you, every time I do a live, I'm going to talk about gold. You know, gold is really something that, you know, we should all look into, you know, we should all look into. I don't know if you guys know this, but on April the 22nd of 2025, for the first time ever, gold hit a price, the ounce of price of gold. Never, ever before in history did it ever hit that amount that I'm going to tell you. It hit the amount of $3,505. April 22nd of 2025. We are in June. And ladies and gentlemen, you know, again, I'm a strong believer, and I'm telling you, you know, I even had the urge today to just, you know, let's just cash it in already, you know. But today I woke up and gold was at $3,408 an ounce. $3,408 an ounce. Something that you guys, you you sandbags out there, you know, you sandbags should start looking into, look into it. It's something that you should look into because $3,408 is something that, wow, it's gonna hit. It's gonna hit that number. And I spoke to a couple of people today that they know more than me and my family member Joaquin, and it's it's getting crazy. I also want to tell all of you that, maybe some of you do know this, maybe some of you don't know this, that there was a Las Vegas watch show. That show was dead. Dead. I'm talking about dead, dead. No matter what they're trying to do to artificially hype up prices to get you flim flammed and get you fleece, ladies and gentlemen, this channel is going to tell you the watch situation is dead. No matter how they want to, paint it, no matter what kind of paint they're putting on this, he's dead. And they're trying hard to artificially hype up the watch secondary gray watch market. But they're not going to be able to do it that easy because they're up against me. And basically, I have single-handedly rattled, disrupted the Muppet Boiler Room secondary gray watch market. Maybe that's news to you guys, but that is the truth. And I take all responsibility for that. I do. I take all responsibility. I'm having a change of character. Unbelievable, but true. I am, unbelievable. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm just letting you know the show was dead in Las Vegas. So don't get flim-flammed and don't get fleece. All right? You heard me talking about gold, but this is, something that's happening with BlackRock. BlackRock, owners of the world. BlackRock, the spot Bitcoin ETF, becomes the fastest ETF in history. ETF, that means a total amount of money invested. I don't know too much about that, but I'm learning, the fastest ETM in history to hit 70 billion AUM. If you guys don't understand what AUM means, I'll tell you. That means assets under management. Something crazy is happening in the world, ladies and gentlemen. But something crazy. We have gold going bananas. We have this, cryptocurrency going bananas. Going bananas. I don't know much about that stuff. I know about gold, but I don't know about, cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. I don't know about that. But I am going to tell you, for all the reading I do, is something that me, I'm already looking into it, because the fastest to become in history, BlackRock, they have to know something that's going on. They know something. Maybe you guys out there in TV land, you know something about what's going on. But it's crazy what's going on with Bitcoin at this moment. People are really, for what I read and in Twitter or X, I don't know what it is, they call it X now, I don't know. There is the thing they're talking about. Gold and Bitcoin. So be very aware of that, right? I also want to tell you all that I did a video last year, and many of you did not get to see that video because it's when you're teaching people something, they don't put you in the top, they put you in the bottom of the barrel, and that video never really hit big. but I reposted it again. But I have to tell you this because it's unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. And that video that I posted last year got 1,300 views in 6 months. That's what it had. And I reposted it again. It's about the China, the China situation. And I reposted, and to my amaze, I was amazed, that video has over, in 3 days, over 7,000, 3 or 4 days, it has over 7,000 views. This is an organic watch channel with real subscribers, not robots, not bots, none of that stuff. The people depend on those robots. That's how they all make money, Fake views, fake likes, fake comments, and most of all, fake subscribers. They can never match with the views, the likes, and the comments. And you sandbags out there are celebrating, you're celebrating all these Michiganers, celebrating with the fake they have. When I start using this, and when we have a couple of undercover spookers, spooking in my channel, they run when they hear the word, like, that channel where those two Toddler Body Brothers, Toddler Body Brothers, they got over 749,000 subscribers, fake subscribers, and they get 5,000 views, You understand? So what I'm trying to tell all of you, you gotta stop being sandbags. You gotta stop protecting yourselves from all these flim-flammers out there, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm telling you, 7,000 views in this little organic watch channel, which is close to hitting 8,400 organic subscribers. I'm just letting you guys know. If you haven't seen that video, you must go see it. You must go see it because it's going viral. It's going viral, So you take a look-see at that, right? Take a look-see at that. And ladies and gentlemen, I also want to tell you something else, because I know a lot of you out there belong. Listen to this. Listen and learn. I know a lot of you belong to a lot of different watch groups, where they bid, they do auctions on watches. Since the watch market is dead, now they're doing auctions among themselves. Auctions. And I'm going to give you an example so you can see where this is going to. And if you fall to it, you'll be one of the first sandbags to say, how can it be when this watch, I saw it at an auction for $27,000. $27,000. Listen and learn, boys. Listen and learn. Listen and learn. Listen, let me take my time. Okay. Damon knows. So I belong to so many watch groups. It's unbelievable. And you might say, how is it that you have them there? Well, it's all right, It's not under Opusntime, Maybe it's under Kino, the Kino's name, I belong to so many, it's disgusting. But this one in particular, I was watching, ladies and gentlemen. And they put there a Rolex Yachtmaster titanium black dial with a black ceramic bezel. A watch that I'm dying to get, but I haven't been able to get it for whatever reason. But I am going to get it. And I'll show it to you. I'll let this to you. I'll show it to you, And they put the watch on. 56 minutes into the auction, the watch was already at, ready? It was already at $26,000. $26,000. These people really believe that you guys out there still have SBA loans and PPP loans and government grants and stimulus checks. You understand me? Listen to me. When you come to this channel, you're going to hear the truth and you're going to get so embarrassed, you're going to run. You're gonna run. You're gonna leave because I can't hear this guy. Bobby, those days were over. And they had this watch for 20. ¿Cuánto es Kino? Kino's saying it's over $27,000. Bobby, don't be sandbags. Don't let these flim flammers, don't let these flim flammers fleece you. Don't let them fleece you. This is an attack on you guys. This is like a watch hate crime against you people. Those auctions are all, it's among themselves. And every single watch, every single catalog that belongs to Rolex, that belongs to AP, Patek, Vacheron, Richard Mille, Bobby, they're trying to, desperately get it back up again. They're trying to do to you, what Pluto did to olive oil, get you guys in a trance. And you were sleeping at nighttime, MK Ultra, mind control. And you sleep, the watch market is alive. The watch market is alive. The watch costs this much. This is what they're pounding you. I know it's hard for you. You know what I'm trying to say. People, some of my organic watch channel subscribers are calling it the Pluto trance. Pluto would trance always olive oil. Olive oil was like a little, she was a bad girl. Always cheating on Popeye with Pluto because Pluto had the power to, salami, and he got it that way. And you people are falling in the same trap, But it is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a powerful channel. It's so powerful that I get every day. If you don't know what that means, you write it there and one of my loyal subscribers will tell you what that means. Every day. Papi, this is the #1 watch market update show in the world, chosen by no other than Fudinki. Because what we drop here is the truth. I don't sell watches, I don't buy watches, I don't use foul language. I just give you guys, I try to make you guys smarter, smarter, and that's it. But they don't want that because everybody's in the payroll. Everybody's in the payroll. You know what that means? Everybody's getting greased up. Everybody's getting greased up. And it's crazy. But this is the #1 watch channel there is, Papa. You know the knowledge that I drop here? I'm a target, man. I'm a bullseye target. This is like, in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s, the masked magician, and he would expose how he did his tricks. I'm that guy, but without the mask. Unbelievable, but true. Unbelievable. I told you everything. Everything. And they ask themselves, because we know this, but what does that guy get by doing that? You know what I get? I get pleasure. That's right. I get pleasure because you guys have been fleeced and flim-flam for too long. And I also get a logo too. I get a logo. I get it deep. And that's all right. You save it for them. You give me the logo and you save it for them. That's all right. It's no problem. I'm just telling you what's going on, what they're doing to you. What they're doing to you, and it's not nice, Not nice whatsoever. I explained to you already about gold. I explained to you about BlackRock. These people know everything, Papi. Listen, I ask people about BlackRock and they're like, picking their nose, picking a winner, picking a winner. They're picking a winner. You know about BlackRock? Huh? They're picking a winner. They just skip hopping around through life like bunny rabbits, You know, the bunny rabbits that used to be in the Playboy mansion, you know, like that. You know, a bunch of sandbags. And it's unbelievable, but it is the truth, ladies and gentlemen. I got to tell you the truth. I got to tell you the truth how I feel. You guys continue, you know, cow tipping, possum, trying to say, you don't get nothing in return. You know, you guys are obedient, obedient slaves. And I'm here to help you guys out. That's all. I mean, you do whatever you want. You guys do whatever you want. You know, listen, if you belong, gracias, Kino, por dejarme saber. Gracias. Kino right now just told me that if you guys belong to the Opus in Time Watches group in Facebook, he put on an article. You know, we didn't want to put the whole article, but we put a small little piece there, so you can see that everything that we told you about what's happening with Rolex being caught restoring uh, fake vintage Rolex watches. You know, and we put it there for you guys because it's, you know, it's hard. I know it's hard. It really is hard. It would be hard for me to believe that such a prestige company would be pinched that way. You know, will get caught that way. And I put it there. I put a little piece. The rest, you guys do the rest. You do your own googling, and you do your own research so you can find out, you know, the whole thing. But there's many things there that you need to see and understand. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I am in the marble business. I import marble from different parts of the world, from Italy, Spain, Portugal, Chile, and so on and so on, you know, from different parts of the world. Natural stone. And also quartz, you know, from different parts, from India, Turkey, Spain, Portugal, Israel, and all that good stuff. And you might be saying, why is this guy talking about his business? Well, hold on. So when I got into the business many years ago, for me to produce, thank you so much. For me to produce a kitchen countertop, you know, kitchen countertops. At the time, it was granite. You know, a lot of granite back in the mid '80s. You know, granite. I was a younger man, and we produced a kitchen for a customer. And honestly, it took us, you know, 2 weeks to produce the kitchen. You know, produce it, installation, all that good stuff. And so as the years went by, you know, there's always been a machine called CNC, you know, CNC. C as in Carlos, N as in Nancy, and C as in Carlos. A milling machine, a CNC milling machine, you know? And you have different machines, different companies from Italy, Germany that produce that machine. And it's a machine that can do whatever you want. It can do a statue. It can do Formula One car parts. You know, it's an unbelievable machine. But the machine costs a lot of money. A lot of money. And so we were taking forever, you know, to do a kitchen, like I told you, 2 weeks. But when you had that machine, you can do a kitchen in a day. In a day, you can do a kitchen. So, you know, these machines are called, you know, Breton, La Breton, Brembana, EMAC. You know, these are all unbelievable computer machines. And the same machine, that Rolex uses to do all their watch cases is a CNC milling machine. You know, that's the machine they use, all computerized. So you imagine when I would do my kitchens with my CNC machine, it would take me a whole day. Now imagine what it takes a watch company having a CNC milling machine to do a case, a watch case. Let me explain to you what that's all about. Let me explain to you this because you guys maybe don't. Thank you very much, Alberto, for that super chat. Thank you very much. I'm going to show you something now because I want you guys to get smarter, man. I want you guys to get smarter. Thank you very much, Alberto, for that super chat. Thank you very much. So this is the machine that we finally, as the years went by in my industry, we needed to get into the game, and we needed to buy a CNC milling machine. We bought a Brembana. Brembana is an Italian machine. We bought that machine, and this machine is able, if I want to, I can do a machine. I can do a kitchen if I want, you know, and half a day. And this is the machine right here. It's all computerized. It does the profile edge. It does an OG, DuPont, and right there, those are the bids. Those are all the bids. Take a look at this so you can learn. It's all computerized. Those are called diamond bit heads. Diamond bit heads. Right now it's doing a profile. Okay? There's your slab. And that's a CNC milling machine. The same thing they use in those watch factories. In this case, I'm using it to produce kitchen countertops, right? That's what I'm using it for. And they use it to produce, you know, watch cases. And I'm going to show you that. This is what a CNC machine is. And I gotta show my people, man. I gotta show them. That's a CNC machine right there. That's the casing. Same thing. Diamond bit head. Diamond. It'll come out. It'll stop. Everything. There you go. So the same CNC milling machine that we use to cut kitchen countertops and produce them like that, they have those same machines to produce watch cases. You know, back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, it's when a pop, 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 ping, pop, boom, shh, 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 you know, pop, pop, you know, the real stuff, you know, like we did it too, you know, with a Makita, a grinder, zzz, with a mask on, a lot of, you know, dust and, you know, powder all over the place, you know, but times change. And Rolex got those machines in their factory. Has a lot of them, you know. You know what I'm trying to say, Mr. Blair, you know. And they have those machines as well. And they're the whole day making cases. I'm not talking about Rolex. I'm talking about China. The whole day. The whole day. The whole day they're making cases. You know? The bracelets is a different story, but the cases is like that. Boom, 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 boom. It's like Wonder Bread. You know, Wonder Bread. Wonder Bread. All day, every day. You know, Wonder Bread. It's unbelievable. Thank you very much, Mr. Blair, for that super chat. Thank you very, very much. I wasn't, you know, trying not to, I was just focused on what I was doing. Okay, Papa? Thank you so much for supporting the channel, Papa. And again, Mr. Albert, Alberto, gracias. Thank you very much for that super chat as well. So this is what's going on. And, you know, the cat is The cat is out, man. The rabbit is out. What China has, Rolex has. Don't think for a moment, Papi. It's a no-brainer. Rolex probably went and says which machine we're gonna go with. Let's go with la Breton. Breton is or la EMAG. EMAG, EMAG. It's German. Let's go with the Germans. The Germans are unbelievable. But you're talking about a machine that these machines cost, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, depend what kind of, capacity you wanted that machine to have, In this case, it's just making, it's simple, it's, you're not making a kitchen, you're making a little case of a watch, and they're doing that. And so that's out there too. And you guys need to know these things because, I already told you guys, exactly. But I told you guys the other day, and I told you in a real serious way, you guys say that you guys are watch collectors, and for you to be a watch collector, you need to know all these things. You need to know all these things. Because you guys, in your mind, you're saying, well, how is this done? I'm showing you how it's done. I'm not hiding. I'm showing you how it's done. I show you how we produce a kitchen countertops in our fabrication, shop, how we do it. And we had to go state of the art. And they also went state of the art in China. And these people are doing, man, they're doing some unbelievable things over there. So look into what I put on my on the group that you guys belong on, Opusntime Watches. Look into that more, and you guys are gonna go, wow. They have the same machine. They listen. If you put in the computer, make me a casing of a Daytona. It's not that easy, but I'm saying you have to program it. Make me a casing with these dimensions of a Daytona 6240. Thickness. Papi, listen to me, because we have a machine that we cut with marble. This thing is preciso. Preciso. Precise. Preciso. Precision. No, not just off, it's off here, off. No. This is what you want. This is what it is. The church over there in Barcelona. The church, over there, Barcelona, Spain. I think it's called. Gracias, aquí, coño. What would I do without this guy? La Sagrada Familia. If you go back to the history of La Sagrada Familia, you go, which they say that now it's about to become almost finished in the next, I don't know when, pretty soon, I don't know. But if you go all the way back, when you go on the tour, I went on a tour there with my wife, and you see when they were doing, the pieces, they go on the church. Tap, 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 boom, boom, pop, bing, pop, boom. But the last pieces that have been coming in, they have been done with a CNC milling machines. You understand me? So I'm trying to tell you all this. I give you these scenarios so you can see the movie. You understand me? Exactly. Look into it. Don't listen to me. I'm a sandbag, but look into it. Don't 29 organic watch channel subscribers, 16 thumbs up. I know you guys are very involved in what I'm talking about, and that's how it is. Papi, listen to me. They are the king. They are the king. They are the king. We're not saying they're not. No. But exactly, if I did not move, I think Mr. Franco Fiore just said that right now. Saludos, Franco Fiore, saludos. If I would have never got into with a CNC machine in my business, I had to leave it. Because now they are fabrication marble companies, countertop companies. They don't have one CNC. They don't have two. They don't have three. They have five. Five. So that person that has five, man, they're ahead of the game. I mean, they're doing, kitchens like, pan con bistec, papá. In Versailles, pan con bistec. Steak sandwiches. Unbelievable, but true. But it's the truth. And so, when the people from over there, from the Silicon Valley of China, Xinjiang, they said, we have this machine, Papi, those Chinese people, man, they're disciplined over there. If they want to, and if they want to, they can make a Bugatti exactly like the one that costs $30 million. These people, they have the best engineers there is. And you guys are still believing that the king, no, papi, the king will give you the logo, papa. But only us people, me and you guys know about that. And they tell you, if you look into the article that I put out, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Blair, for saying true. I don't know who you're saying true to, but thank you. If you look into that article, you're going to go, oh my God, it's there. And these people, if you think I'm doing something beautiful, that I'm doing God's job for you people, no, man, that guy, he's unbelievable. He's really undressing everybody. I think pretty soon he's going to call me up because, he sees that I talk about him, I think he sees and he's heard about me, They can do whatever they want, man. They listen to me. And I'm telling you, they can do whatever, because you see, in China, you have sloppy fabrications over there. They produce things, brushes for your hair, and you keep on going, and you have top of the line production factories. If you go to China, no tengo una máscara chino, una máscara chino. If you go to China, there's so much, it looks like it's going to rain every day. It's so much pollution. There is so much, exactly, yes, Damon, yes. There is so much pollution that people out there, you walk and you think it's, like it's going to rain, it looks overcast. People all over the streets walk around and they look like they're, with all due respect, I'm saying this, with all due respect, they look like it's something like the corona has been there forever. And it's not. They're using those masks because there's so much pollution of so much production that they do. Papi, eso un hormiguero. It's un hormiguero, como ese hormiguero, ants, it's unbelievable. You don't understand. So you got these factories that work very, very, very low. And then you got this one here. It's all right, but it's still not the best in the world. Then you have this one. He's trying to get the CNC, milling machines. And then you have the one that has 50 CNC milling machines, and you say you want parts for your Viking boat, you want parts for your Formula One, I don't know, car. These people do whatever they want. So look into that so you understand what I'm trying to tell you guys and trying to wake you up. It's like a subliminal message I'm giving you. The deeper you go into this and you look into the watch, how it is, how it starts and how it finishes, you'll be mind blown away, because it's something very, very simple. Very simple. You may say, very simple, papi. Very simple. Look at that. Ferrari F1 made in China. I didn't say that. A gentleman said that. You know? Well, guys, I just wanted to talk a little bit about CNC milling machines. Very, very pricey. Very pricey. You know, the machine that we had to give it to a trustee, because it's not ours. We got to make a payment on our machine because it's unbelievable what those prices of those machines cost. Very, very pricey. Guys, I'm going to go into a watch market update because this is what you guys come for, and I'm going to give it to you. A lot of the watches that I'm going to talk to you about today is about people that want to buy these watches, are interested in these watches. They want to know what the prices are, and I'm going to give you those prices. Right, guys? Okay. Our first watch is an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Black Ceramic, 41 millimeter, annual calendar, perpetual annual calendar. Reference number 26579CE. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And ladies and gentlemen, this watch is, a collector's dream, a collector's choice, a collector's grade, and a collector's unit. This watch is discontinued. This watch has a retail price of $111,900. And this watch in the Corona era, only people like I'm going to use this person as a poster child. Only the people, that guy Toupee wig man, with the flower shirts, he has a wig, Toupee wig, and he wears skinny jeans, purple with yellow shoes, orange belt. He's eclectic, That type of person, wanted that watch. Wanted that watch, Scout's Honor. They wanted that beautiful black ceramic from AP, perpetual annual calendar. And that watch in the Corona era, ladies and gentlemen, in that Corona era was over $300,000. Over $300,000. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a discontinued watch. But it's not the price of the $400,000. Don't pay for that watch. Don't pay. You do whatever you want, sir. You want this watch, but don't pay more. You do whatever you want with your money. It's your money, and you do whatever you want. But don't pay for that watch more than $188,000 and dropping, right? You do whatever you want. This is a collector's dream, collector's choice, collector's grade, collector's unit. And it's dropping, Papi. Wait until July and August. It's dropping more. But you guys do whatever you want. Our next watch is a Vacheron Constantin Overseas. Rose Gold. The 4300V. 120R. B642. Full set. Skeletonized annual perpetual calendar. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. This is a boutique exclusive for a heavy honcho. You had to be a honcho. You had to be a honcho, Papi. You have to be un monstruo. You had to be a monster to get this watch. Unbelievable. The retail price of this watch is $136,000. $136,000. And ladies and gentlemen, again, I'm talking about, this is, boutique. They will put you in a back room. And I don't know what they do to you because I've never been in the back room. If you guys been to the back room, don't feel bad. Don't feel embarrassed. Put it up there. But I've never been to the back room. I've never. You know what I'm trying to say, Franco. I never went to the back room, but there they do something to you special and they give you the watch. Don't pay for that watch. Don't pay more than $123,000 and dropping. All right, sir? You do whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another one here which is unbelievable. It is the Vacheron Constantin Overseas Stainless Steel Tourbillon with a 42.5 millimeter casing. Blue dial. Papi, listen to this, man. Listen to this. Unbelievable. Stainless steel. Listen to the word. Stainless steel tourbillon with the most elegant blue dial in the watch business. The 6000V/110 AB544. Retail price $129,000. Sir, do yourself a favor. Man, this is disgusting. This is disgusting. Yep. Yeah. Tourbillon equals sandbag. Unbelievable when you hear this. $129,000. You ready for this? Does anybody know what I'm going to say not to pay for this watch? Does anybody? Just throw any number you want. Any number. Throw any number you want. Nobody knows? Okay. $129,000. I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, and you do whatever you want. But don't pay for that watch. Mr. Blair, you see, you keep on giving your money away. You're giving it away. You're giving it, at least this gentleman. Stop, Alberto. Alberto, stop right there. Alberto. Look at that. I said stop, Alberto. Don't pay more, and I mean don't pay more than $71,000. Damn! ¿De verdad? Mándame. Mándame atrás. ¡Dame! ¡Dame! No, que Blair puso $95,000. 95, y Blair es uno de los genios. You know, Blair put $95,000 and Blair's a genius, and don't pay more. You saw what I told you, but I'm going to tell you something now that's even bigger than that. Another Vacheron Constantin Overseas. Don't get it confused with the stainless steel one. Vacheron Constantin Overseas. Price on request. You want this watch, you got to request it. Vacheron Constantin Overseas Tourbillon. Again, tourbillon, but this time with the material titanium. Titanium. Beautiful blue dial. Rare. They got to put you in the back room to give you this watch. Deep. Rare. Price on request, and they give it to you deep. You know? Increíble. Unbelievable. And ladies and gentlemen, this is also the 6,000. The 6,000, unbelievable. You know, the 6,000V, but on titanium. And ladies and gentlemen, the retail price of this watch is also $129,000. Unbelievable. And I'm going to tell you, this is something rare. This is like, this is like, one of those Pokemon cards. You know the Pokemon cards? You know, Pokemon. You know, the Pikachu in Pokemon, not the watch. It's like pulling out one of those Pokemon cards, to get this watch. And this watch was up there. I don't even want to tell you, it was disgusting. It was for people that had 4 Bentleys in their house. 4 Bentleys, 2 Ferraris, and sitting in the car. Just send it to me. Send it to me by DHL. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't want to tell you the number it was. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. Those people in the Bentley just gave it away. Instead of giving it away to UNICEF, to the homeless, to the animal shelters. Unbelievable. Yeah, pushing, push button, unbelievable. And ladies and gentlemen, it's unbelievable. Don't pay. This is rare, tourbillon, titanium, it's unbelievable. Don't pay for that watch more than $124,000. It's disgusting. Listen, it lost like $300,000. It lost like $300,000 from that Corona era. $300,000, papi. Descojonado. Deep. Unbelievable. Esto, papi, que ellos no saben de esto. They no saben. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be talking about another watch that was unbelievable. The Rolex White Gold Yacht Master Cotton Candy. You ever heard of the cotton candy? Cotton candy, pink, blue, white, cotton candy, when you would go to the fair, the youth fair, go to the youth fair and you get one of those and you be playing with it, eating it, right? Watch, unbelievable. That beautiful bezel with the cotton candy bezel. Unbelievable. And ladies and gentlemen, reference number of this watch is the 126679 SABR. Black. Cotton candy. And ladies and gentlemen, this watch, at one moment, this Rolex watch at one moment was over $275,000. We're talking about just the case because the rest is just oyster flex, with the little clasp, you know what I'm saying? Unbelievable. People again, they were buying that for their, for their wife, their girlfriend, their side chick, whatever they had, they were buying it and giving it, here, bing, 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 bing. Take the money, take it all, take it from me, whatever you want. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to tell you the truth with all my, with all honesty, sir, you want it, you're going to get it. Don't pay for that watch more than $119,000 and dropping. You do whatever you want. It's your money. You do whatever you want. Our next watch is an AP Royal Oak stainless steel blue dial, 15400, 41 millimeter. Retail price $19,700. Unbelievable. This watch in the Corona era was over $90,000. $90,000 this watch was. We're talking about stainless steel and a beautiful blue dial. That's all. 41 millimeter. The 15400. This is a different one. It has, the automatic. It has it in the bottom, in the dial, And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, does anybody know what they shouldn't pay more for this watch? Does anybody know? Give me a number. I think that guy Alberto should put it up there. Put it up there, Alberto. What do you say? Let's see, Alberto's on fire. Don't pay for that watch. Don't pay for that AP Royal Oak 15400 stainless steel with a blue dial. Don't pay for that watch more, and I mean don't pay more than $34,000 and dropping. All right, guys? Be careful. Be careful. And if you want to get that watch in July and August, they'll be giving it away. They'll be giving it away. They'll be giving it away. I know what I'm telling you. You do whatever you want. I'm going to talk about a watch that came out a few years ago. And people were running around trying to get this watch. It's a Rolex. And they wanted this watch and they wanted, I think I even wanted, at one moment I wanted it. But I don't know, it went away from my head. I don't want to know more. We're talking about the Rolex Deep Sea Challenge, 50 millimeters. It's like an alarm clock in your hand, like an alarm clock. 50, this is 40. It's like that, unbelievable. Real big thing. But this is the Mark II. This is the Mark II. because the Mark 1 was discontinued. You know, it was discontinued. So they made this new one now, the Mark 2. So unbelievable, the challenge. Exactly, like a wall clock. Exactly, Mr. Bobby Desler. Unbelievable, that Mr. Desler. So unbelievable, but true. And this watch, the retail price is $27,300. Titanium, you know? It's unbelievable looking watch. Unbelievable looking time machine. And ladies and gentlemen, they did something, you know, and the one that they discontinued, it had deep sea challenge under the Oyster, you know, Rolex Oyster, and then deep sea challenge. And what they did was they moved to the one now that I'm talking about, the new one. They moved the deep sea challenge under the 6. You understand me? That's what they did to the watch, you know? And people were going nuts with this watch. 75, 80, 90, bomb. They were going crazy. And I told you that the retail price of that watch is $27,300. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want. If you're looking for that, you know, Rolex Deep Sea Challenge Mark II, don't pay. I mean, it is, but it was over at one moment 90, 80. Don't pay for that watch more. And I mean this. It's a new one, you know? It's unbelievable, you know? Don't pay more than $42,000, and it is dropping, all right? It is dropping. Our next watch is a Richard Mille. You know, if you need the reference number for that Deep Sea Challenge, let me give it to you again. 126067. All right? Okay? Our next watch is a Richard Mille. Richard Mille, Rose Gold, RM010. Ladies and gentlemen, at one moment, this watch, it was crazy, man. I saw this watch being sold, traded for $350,000. I get that loco, mano. I get that loco. You have to be, listen, you know what? I take this back. You people that were spending that money, those were PPP loans, SBA loans, government grants, you know, check protection on your company. It was crazy. It was crazy what they were paying for that watch. It was crazy. And it's the truth, but people just gave it away, you know, just gave their money away. Papi, easy come, easy go. You know? Monkey see, monkey do, monkey will make a big fool out of you. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, but true. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, don't pay for that Richard Mille RM010. Don't pay more. And I mean, don't pay more than $92,000 in dropping. You do whatever you want. Richard Mille watches is a sucker's bet. Richard Mille watches is a sucker's bet. You do whatever you want. Our next watch is a Rolex White Gold Date Olive Green Dial, reference number 228239, 40 millimeter. Retail price is $46,300. Listen up. $46,300, but it has an olive green dial. For you sandbags. You sandbags that went nuts for the green. You guys went nuts. Those green dials, if you guys don't know it because you're new to this, they were at one moment over $95,000. Guys, am I lying to you guys? Put it down if I'm lying. $95,000. And you should have seen these people, man. They were going crazy giving away $95,000. And at that time, in that Corona era, that watch, the retail was like $41,400, right? $41,400. Today, with all these increases that Rolex has had in the last 4 years, is the price of that watch is $46,300. $46,300. And I'm going to tell you people out there that are very interested in this beautiful Rolex date, white gold, olive green dial, 40 millimeter, reference number, unbelievable, 228239. Don't pay more, and I mean don't pay more than $32,000 in dropping. You do whatever you want. It's your money. You do whatever you want, Bobby. You do whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, here's a Rolex Platinum. Beautiful Rolex Platinum date, 40 millimeter. You know, date. It's unbelievable, man. 228206 is the reference number. This is a beautiful blue sky dial, you know, pamper blue dial, you know, sky blue, you know, it's a beautiful blue, you know, with a smooth bezel, you know, it's unbelievable. Platinum, unbelievable. Retail price of that watch is $70,300. $70,300. That's right. Sir, if you want to buy that watch, remember these words. Cash is king. And you're the king, Papi. You do whatever you want. You dominate the conversation. When you have cash, cuando tú tienes estilla, cuando tú tienes pasta, cuartos, lanas, chelo, chavo, moneda, money, you dominate the conversation. You should see me when I'm talking about, buying marble, and they told me no, because Willie from over there, he'll buy it from me. I say, yeah, Willie will buy it for you. But Willie is asking for 180 days, to pay you that. I'm not. You understand me? I'm not. I'm not paying you. I'm not paying you with a credit card. I'm paying you, boom. So you guys that have money, you guys are kings. All right? You guys are kings. So don't pay for that Rolex Platinum. Don't pay more. And I look at you guys, all of you, so you can repeat it out there. Don't pay more. Ready? Don't pay more than 149. You guys, me reading this, I got confused. Don't pay more than $49,000. Don't pay more than $49,000. Use slider condition material watches. We're talking about use. If it doesn't come with all the bells and whistles, you don't want it. You don't want it. And if you see it, listen and learn now. And if you see it with a white service guarantee card, run to the hills. That's what I got to tell you. If you guys don't understand what I said, you speak to Mr. Blair, talk to him. I'm not going to tell you no more. And if you see anybody of these people giving you a white guarantee card and a green guarantee card, run to the hills. That's what I got to say. That's what I got to say. Our next watch is a yellow gold, Rolex yellow gold Daytona, 40 millimeter, champagne dial. Reference number 1. No, this is not it. This is the wrong. No, it is the right one. The Rolex yellow gold stainless steel Daytona, 40 millimeter, champagne dial. Reference number 116503. Retail price is $19,100. You do whatever you want, but don't pay for that two-tone. Yellow gold with stainless steel Daytona, champagne dial. The one that nobody wants. For whatever reason, nobody wants that champagne dial. $19,100 is the retail price. I'm curious to see, I'm giving you the retail price. What is the price I'm going to tell you not to pay for it? You shouldn't pay more than that. What's the price? Come on, I'm getting to my last watch. Let's make it fun. Nobody knows? All right, don't pay for that watch more than $16,100. All right, full set. No white guarantee card. No white. And ladies and gentlemen, here's our last watch of the day. The Rolex Yellow Gold Daytona with a new reference. New reference. Unbelievable watch. New reference. New reference. Rolex Yellow Gold Daytona Oyster Flex with a meteorite dial. Fresh 2025. With a meteorite dial. Reference number 126518. Yellow gold. Ladies and gentlemen, people are asking for this watch ridiculous money. Ridiculous. But I'm going to tell you the truth, because I tell you the truth always in this channel. Don't pay for that watch. This is a new one. New one. That's why they love me so much. When I give you the prices and you go back and you tell them, they freak out. Who told you that? And you guys tell them, sweet Kino to me, Joaquin to you. Give me that price. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want with your money. You do whatever you want. But don't pay for that watch more. Ready? Than $92,000 and dropping. That's right. Dr. Evil says it correctly. Meteorite equals deep. Okay? Deep. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you. Double logo. I want to thank all of you for being here with me in this last hour, with me. I appreciate that. I'm happy that you guys are here. I'm happy for your support. And like I said again, when you guys are here, you guys are supporting the channel, and the channel just keeps on moving. As you know, we are a channel that we are at the bottom of the barrel, because we are exercising too many truthful things with you guys, and it's not at their liking. They don't like that. So we got to keep on. We got to keep on pushing. Pushing hard. Again, I want to thank you, all of you, for the super chats and the thank you chats and all those chat things. Thank you very much again. You guys being here, you guys are the biggest part. You guys being here is the biggest part. It really gets me going, and it keeps Sweet Kino bringing me more, more content, more stuff. Right, guys? I hope you learned something today from everything, from how things are being built out there, and you guys never, find out the truth. If you are a member of our private watch group, if you're not, try to join it, and maybe Samantha and Kino will let you in. There's a big article there that you guys should look into, and maybe if you had some doubts of me, talking about this, you had some doubts, maybe by you looking at that article, you say, wow, that Latin guy, that crazy Latin guy, he was dropping knowledge for real. But it's like I said again, if they would open the doors to this channel, the floodgates, this channel will go. I'll be somebody big in Netflix, But it's not like this. It's like this. All right. But we'll keep on working with what we have. All right, guys. Anyway, guys, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like our video. Don't forget that. That's important. Thank you so much for everything, gentlemen. Thank you very, very much. And like me and Sweet Kino say every other day, take care and brush your hair. Good day, guys. Thank you so much for everything.